up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur.
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the ball!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est dégagement, et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Coupe Stanley pour les Canadiens, leur 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup.
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. 8.6 beer. Intense by nature. And Locage. If the last time you went to Locage was when the Habs won the Cup, it's time you went back to Locage. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro, Thursday, December 1st. It's a watch party. It's the first time in my life I've ever done this in terms of a watch party, I have to say. What does that mean exactly? Well, that means that when the second period starts, I'll be watching the game and I'll be giving you my live comments while the podcast is going on live. You're watching right now, you sick army are, and thank you for being there, on YouTube Live, on Facebook Live, and on Twitter Live. We're going to get to your questions a little bit later on. We're even going to get to your comments a little bit later on. Right now, it's the end of the first period. The Canadiens are up by a score of 1-0 on the Calgary Flames by a goal from Juraj Slafkowski, his fourth of the season. I've been wanting Slafkowski to play with Monahan and Anderson since before the season started. I finally got my wish tonight, and guess what? He scored 13 seconds into the game. Not a bad first shift for Sean Monahan, who returns to Calgary for the first time since being acquired by the Canadiens from the Flames. He was very emotional leading up to the game. People in Calgary absolutely love him. The coach does. The players do. The fans do. And he was very, very emotional once again. Almost broke down when talking about how much he loved being a Calgary Flame. And he thanked the fans for their support, and they repaid him tonight because a couple of minutes into the game during a TV timeout, they gave him a real nice ovation in Calgary, and that was pretty cool. So here we are, and the Sick Podcast is brought to you in part by 8.6 beer. These guys here, intense like me, Marinaro by nature, the beer for those who follow their instinct and live their passions in order to make their mark. Also brought to you by Lacage. If the last time you went to Lacage was when the Habs won the Cup, it's time you go back to Lacage. The menu will surprise you. I've been several times, especially in the last couple of weeks. I absolutely love it there. I want to let you know that the LaSalle location, by the way, has pizza and ribs, which not every location does. So if you're in my neck of the woods and you're in the mood for pizza or ribs, I'm telling you right now, you can find it at Lacage, LaSalle. And brought to you in part by Energy Transportation Group, which is pretty cool because I saw Mike Cinquino, one of the owners, earlier today at around 12:30 in the afternoon. Energy Transportation Group is an asset-based 3PL provider offering outstanding service at incredible rates, serving all of North America. Energy Transportation Group offers full-service logistics support from warehousing, customs brokerage, and transportation consulting. Energy Transportation Group has you covered. And I told Mike that I was going to be doing a watch party tonight. He thought it was pretty cool, and he goes, I bet you it's going to be a hit. I said, Mike, I bet you're going to be right. Why don't we take a look at the lines very quickly for the Canadiens? The second period is about to start. Canadiens are up by a score of 1-0. Suzuki with Doc on his right and Caulfield on his left. Monahan with Slafkowski on his left. Anderson on his right. The third line has Dvorak centering Armia on his right and Dadonov on his left. And Evans has Pezzetta on the left. And actually, he should have Weidman on the right. Rem Pitlick's flight arrived less than 2 hours before game time. He was a game time decision. And ultimately, Martin St. Louis decided against it, decided to put Chris Weidman at the forward position as a winger. Matheson, Savard, Edmondson, Gouli, Jacki, and Harris. For Calgary, it's Lindholm centering Toffoli to his right and Huberdeau to his left. It's Kadri centering Mangiapane to his right and Dubé to his left. It's Backlund centering Coleman on his right and Ruzicka on his left. And by the way, Jake Allen stopped Coleman off a breakaway. The shots in period number 1 were Calgary 12, Montreal 6. Allen was really, really good, which hasn't happened in quite some time. Back to the fourth line. Bring it back up. Did it sound like I finished saying the lines? No, it didn't. Lewis with a Ricci on his right and Lucic on his left. Hanifin, Anderson, Uyghur, Tanev, Zadorov, and Stone are your defense pairing. So it's Jake Allen in goal for the Canadiens and Jacob Markstrom for the Calgary Flames. Let me go back to watching this game now, and here you go. All right, okay, what do we have here? Dadonov makes his way in. Was it offside? Yeah, no, what? The referee's got his arm up. Is he calling a penalty? Yeah, it looks like somebody's going hooking. That's it. When they go like this, it's a hook. Hooking penalty. By the way, you at home have, you have a volume. I don't on the TV. Not really allowed that kind of stuff. But anyway, we're not going to break the rules. Mangiapane for hooking. Montreal Canadiens, 2-minute power play. Matheson got hooked in unfamiliar territory, basically all alone breaking in. Mangiapane hooked him. 14.9% the Montreal Canadiens on the power play this year. 31st of the 32 teams in the National Hockey League. I think that's safe to say it's not very good. As a matter of fact, schifo, pietà e compassione, voglio. Puh! Schifo, voglio. Here we go. Short side, no. Cole Caulfield with the puck behind the goal. Let me pick up his pillow here. Got that from Chris from Sport La Tornade. I got the Caulfield pillow. Maybe it's going to bring the Canadiens some luck if I hold the pillow during the power play. There we go. They can't even have an entry plan. Suzuki tries to find Caulfield. It's intercepted, and now Matheson has the puck deep in his own zone. He's circling. The Canadiens are circling. They're trying to reset here on the power play. Matheson tries to pass it back. It's intercepted by Coleman. The Canadiens are scrambling, and Matheson back with the puck in his own zone. He passes the puck to Kirby Dach. Kirby Dach lays it back to Suzuki, over to Caulfield, back to Nick Suzuki, and he enters the offensive zone. It's the Canadiens now with the puck. It looks like it's Kirby Dach. Kirby Dach swaying. He's going. He's looking for a pass. He finds Caulfield in the slot. Looked like he tried to pass between his legs. It goes back out of the zone, and Michael Matheson goes back to get it. He looks back at the bench and says, hold on a second. I'm staying on here. Let's see what we could do. Matheson behind the goal. I don't really have to do play-by-play, by the way. I don't know why I'm doing this. Maybe because I've never done it before in my life as far as hockey is concerned. Anyway, and I'm getting a little bit excited. I always wanted to be the play-by-play man of the Montreal Canadiens when I was young, and I never had the opportunity to do so. When I was young, when I was older, I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to host my own radio show. And I did, which was kind of cool for 20 years. But you know what's even cooler than hosting a radio show? Podcasting. Why? Because you get to do it all on video. People get to see you. You get to take calls as well, but you can also take video calls. And it's just, even though Agnello and Sammy are back at Master Control, I don't have a boss. I kind of do whatever I want, which is kind of cool. Because when you're working in radio, unfortunately, that's not the reality. Sometimes you have to do things that people tell you to do, even though they don't always, really know what they're talking about. All right, okay. Puck goes back in the zone. Here we go. 1 second left in the power play. Power play is over, and there you have it. Another Montreal Canadiens power play. Let me get rid of this pillow. Didn't bring the Canadiens any luck. I have a Guy Lafleur chair there behind me. Should have put the flower on the power play. I'm sure he would have scored. God rest his soul. All right, Flames. Who's that? Tyler Toffoli? All right, Toffoli. I always liked Tyler Toffoli, man. He really liked being a Montreal Canadian. So did his wife, and it was sad to see him go, They got a good return on him, though, right? They got a first-round pick. They got Emil Heineman. I think Heineman's going to play here one day. When? I don't know. I'll give it 2 years. Not next year, but the year after. Armia in his own zone. Armia's been asleep all season. I have a theory on Armia, by the way. He hasn't been the same ever since Kotkaniemi and Lekkinen are no longer here. Oh, that looks like a big scoring chance. Oh, my God. Did Jake Allen get an arm on that? I think he got an arm on a shot from in close by Backlund. I think he may have made a big stop on that one. The shots, by the way, are 14-7 for the Calgary Flames. Sickest play-by-play, says somebody. I'm not so sure I'd be able to read some comments. Let me put on my glasses. This coming in from Kelly. With this power play, says Andy, we should be picking first in Bedard. Yeah, who knows? Maybe. Heineman will be a sniper one day, says Mr. Major. Maybe. D. Arnold says, Tony, you rock. Ryan Katz says, he played his best with Corey Perry. All right. Defensive zone draw for Nick Suzuki versus Backlund. Looked like Backlund got thrown out of the circle. He did. Ruzicka taking the draw. Suzuki wins the draw. That's a big one. You want to win your defensive zone draws. You want to win every draw you take, actually. Caulfield tries to find Doc, and it goes off his knee, and it goes out of the zone. And now Nick Suzuki circles back, and he's back in his own zone, and Caulfield's got the puck in the Canadian zone, and he deked one and passes it off. There's a long stretch pass. It looked like it went from Matheson to Doc to Suzuki, back to Doc. He tries to find Suzuki behind the net. Caulfield's there. They're cycling. Here we go. Matheson at the point. That's a good play because he was going to get it picked off. Instead, he chose a nice pass to Kirby Doc, which was a safer play. And the Flames are out of the zone. Looks like they're in a 3-on-2 here. Takes Matheson to the outside. Throws it in front. No. Ruzicka can't. I don't know. He can't get a shot on that. Matheson, take the body, man. Take the body. You know, you're playing the puck all the time. It's good. Yeah, but every now and then, you got to take the body. Let's go. Away parla. Stretch pass by Calgary as the Canadiens made a change. Puck's deep in the Canadian zone. They're trying to cycle. Daryl Sutter hockey, c'est pas facile, man. It's not easy. It's really not. Josh Anderson, quick shot. No, he misses. Surprise, surprise. Doesn't score too often, Josh. For a guy with his ability or his strength and power, should score a little bit more. What's Slavkovsky with? What's going on here now? Caden Gooley moves up top. Look at Slavkovsky. Looks like a man on a mission now. Going to the front of the net, knocking people off the puck. What a goal can do, eh? Slavkovsky, keep two hands on the stick, man. Always with a hand on the stick. It's easy to take the puck off you if you're going to have a hand on the stick all the time. Kid's got to learn to have two hands on the stick. He's only been told like 82 times so far this season. There's Lucic. Be nice to have a guy like that protect Juraj Slavkovsky. Milan Lucic. Only problem for him right now is that to skate from one blue line to another, it's 40-second shift and it's over. Doesn't have the patin that he used to, you know what I mean? Keep Slavkovsky with talented players. Apparently, the Devils are interested in Anderson, says Ryan Katz. Yeah, I would hope so. They're interested. You want to know why? Because the person who told everyone that the Devils are interested in Anderson is me. I'm the one who had the story. But trying to scoop my own story. Want to watch the podcast, but the 6 feet is 20 seconds faster than mine. Oh, really? I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm not going off no 6 feet. I'm watching the game on pretty much the same channel that a lot of you are on. I don't know what that means exactly, but I've never been like one of these tech guys, you know? Dvorak with a pass, poof, off the mark. Dadonov had a good chance in the first period, by the way. You'll be surprised to know that he missed. What do I do if Dadonov scores a goal and we're live? Like, what do I do? What do I do? I take off my shirt? Like, what do I do exactly to celebrate this moment? I have a foghorn in my garage. Do I leave here? Do I go get the foghorn? Do I blow the horn? What do I do exactly? David Savard looks like he's out of breath a little bit. I like David Savard, but does he not remind you of a guy that plays in your garage hockey league type of thing? Who after the end of a shift is always huffing and puffing? I think there's a little bit of a cardio issue, just a little bit. Between the time you see it and the time that we're seeing it, we already saw it 30 seconds ago. Oh, really? All right, so why don't I do this then? Why don't I watch it pretty much maybe on the same channel that all of you are watching it on? And maybe I'm going to be faster because I think that one channel is faster than the other. Here we go. Why don't we all watch it in English? Let's do that, okay? Let's all watch it in English. I think it's better that way. I will be taking your calls later on, by the way? At 1-888-5856, 1-888-585-7425. Reminding you all, by the way, that Playground has over 600 machines, poker tournaments, Playground casino games, daily promotions, and unmatched customer service. Why go anywhere else? Located just over the Mercier Bridge, only minutes from downtown Montreal. It's Playground Poker. If Dadonov scores, keep your shirt. Keep your shirt, 1, and crack open an 8.6. I should do that. I mean, I have my 8.6 in my canteen. This is an empty can of 8.6. I should get a new. I should get an unopened can here. They're showing Jacka here on the screen. What happened here that they're showing Jacka? What happened? Kelly can't find it on the English there in Toronto. Tony, are you serving chips and drinks while we watch the game together? Trying to cut down on the chips, guys. Trying to cut down on the chips. Today I had a grilled chicken, Caesar salad. Maybe Caesar wasn't the best thing for me for lunch. And for supper, I had chicken breast in the oven with a chef salad with a vinaigrette. The Foley gets it out. Edmondson tries to keep it in. And the Flames chip it out. This Flames team uncharacteristically played very offensive last season and very offensive in the playoffs. Maybe that's why they didn't go far in the playoffs. But now it's just like they're trying to play one of these very, very patient games and one of these safe games. The Canadiens are having a hard time adjusting to it, to tell you the truth. I mean, yeah, they got their goal. Well, they might have another one here. And Suzuki in front. No, he missed. He intercepted a puck. He tried to move. He tried to put it on his forehand, and he just fanned on the puck. Suzuki's strong. Eh? He's like a little bull. Tony, please fire Burrows. I can't do that. I don't have the power to fire anybody. I wish I would. I know exactly who I would fire. Nothing to do with hockey. A lot to do with sports. 16 to 10 are the shots on goal for the Calgary Flames. Any chance we bring Agnello on here or what? Agnello, we have big numbers watching this half of this watch party or what? If you don't want to come on, is there any chance you talk in my ear or something or no? He's kind of like made it a mission that he doesn't want to come on right now. I don't know why. Boo. See, I called for him. He's not coming on. That's it. He says, you do it yourself. 2-on-2. Evans, quick wrist shot. Glove save by Jacob Markstrom. Evans was on a 2-on-2 with Pizzetti. He looks over at Pizzetti, goes, no, I'm going to shoot myself. It's not a bad choice. It's a sport of results, says Martin. Burrows so far, not too good. Tony, they need to play Slav on the second line all season. Yeah, I figured that one out a long time ago. I never liked Slavkovsky in the fourth line. Never. He was getting pinned in his own zone all the time. It was defensive zone faceoffs all the time. It was quick shifts all the time, playing with guys that don't share his IQ. It was going out trying to use your body, hit and getting hit. It was just taken away from his game. Never liked him on the fourth line. I went as far as to say that if I had to see him on the fourth line again, I think he was going to be better off on the first line in Laval. Hopefully he can stay with Monahan and Anderson for a while. You know what? He's going to have every incentive to want to have a real good rest of the season here. You know what his incentive is? His contract's up at the end of the year. This guy wants to get money. If it's here or somewhere else, he's going to want to get money. This is not the most entertaining game in the world. I'm going to try and make it a more entertaining watch party. Wouldn't it have been nice if we would have had a watch party, would have seen like 11 goals or something? It's not going to happen tonight. Tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2. The one and another one in an empty net. Or maybe 1-1 and we go to overtime. It's Pafarla. I really don't remember the last time Yoel Armia scored. Like, I really don't remember. It's a Dvorak with the between the legs pass. Jackai's wrist shot, almost like, just went over the net. He's got a very surprising wrist shot. There's a collision with the goalie there. Look at Armia. Look. Armia is involved, though, today. Like, say what you want. I think Milan Lucic has just tripped over the blue line. It's not a word of a lie. I think he just tripped over the blue line. Why is everyone falling in this game? What's going on? The ice should not be melting in Calgary. It's like minus 20 in Calgary or whatever it is. Plus, ice rinks are refrigerated, right? Why is everyone falling? Does everyone need to have their skates sharpened or what? Oh, no. Look at this. No. Lost the shooting angle. Who is that? Zadorov. Puck through traffic. Jack Guy's having a hard time getting the puck out of the zone. It looks like he's going to be penalized, by the way. Is it Jack Guy's going to be penalized? Referee's arm is up. There's a delayed call on the Canadiens. Someone's going to the box. And it looks like it's Jack Guy, who looks over at the referee and says, "Who, me?" And the referee says, "Yeah, you." Hey, well, you, what do you want to do? Then he looks at the referee and he says, "There's something I can't really repeat on air right now." But that's exactly what it looked like he was saying. Where did it happen? It looked like he got a high stick up on Mangiapane. Looks like he may have clipped him right in the chin. They're going to commercial, which means I can keep on talking. Minus 23 in Calgary, says Kelly. Me says I took the under. K-Wolf says Galley is the king of falling. It's too cold out for the ice to be smooth. That's not bad. You're way behind, says Patrick. I'm way behind. But is it possible that I was on one channel? They told me I was behind. So I switched to the other channel, and now they're telling me I'm way behind. You know what it is? I think it could be the StreamYard. Or the, you know what it is? I know exactly what it is. When we actually go live, by the time it basically reproduces itself over Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, I think it's about a good 45 seconds to a minute behind. So I'm watching it like you are, but it's actually the delay with the internet from the streaming service to actually whatever website you're watching it on. Sandro's having a Tarallo listening to me. A Tarallo is, I don't know how to explain a Tarallo, but I mean, if you're Italian, a Taralli is a Taralli. A Tarallo is a Tarallo. What do you want me to tell you? So it's kind of like, I don't know. It comes in different shapes, but it's, I should know this, right? But I think it's baked, right? And what is it? It's kind of like, I don't know. It's dough. You could put some fennel inside or whatever. That's right. Gary Faber says behind the head. Who cares? He's Marinaro. That's right. Even if I am behind, it's the only time I'll ever be behind, because usually in my line of work, I'm a step ahead. I'm on the other side of the street. I already crossed the street. They're still in the street behind them. Look out. Guys, girls, I'm over here. So Calgary's on the power play. There's now a minute 45 left in the power play. Shots are 17-11 for the Calgary Flames, but Jake Allen's still pitching a shutout midway through the hockey game. When was the last time that happened? Did I just jinx him? I hope not. I'd like to see Allen do well. At the same time, if he does well, the Canadiens are going to do well. And it's a season I don't want to see them do all that well. I'm torn, Like, it's not easy doing what I do. When you're, like, preaching for the rebuild, it's really not easy. You want to see the guys do well, but you want to see them lose. Then when they lose, like, mostly everybody in the city is unhappy because the majority of the city wants to see them win, unlike me, and the minority who want to see them lose so they can probably have a better chance at a better draft pick. Jake Allen, who's that sprawling? David Savard? David Savard, say what you want, though, but he sacrifices his body. It's not easy being Tony, says me. Antonio Sopranos is sick. Will Monahan score versus his old team, Tony? I'm going to say that Sean Monahan will score a goal tonight. Even though we're more than midway into the hockey game, and so far he hasn't, I'm going to say that he will. I don't know how. I don't know if it's happening in an empty net. I don't know if it's happening in overtime. But I'm going to go with Sean Monahan to score a goal. So if you want to, like, put $1 or $2, I don't know what the odds are. I'd go with that. 45 seconds left in Calgary's power play. The way I'm watching it, and yes, I'm behind. By now, somebody probably already scored. I'm probably going to find out from you in the chat that somebody scored. I look like an idiot. Wouldn't be the first time. Calgary's trying to get some shots on that here. Look at him. Look at him. Seems like they're missing the net a lot. It seems like they just took 3 or 4 shots, and the shots are still at 17. One-timer. Oh! Mangiapane. Look at that. That's a great lateral movement by Jake Allen. From left to right, boom, square, right in the crest. You know, some people believe that if the Canadiens trade Jake Allen, they're, was that the Mangiapane that I got one right off the crossbar earlier? No, it's not him. It's Ruzicka. Ruzicka got one right off the crossbar. Mangiapane, I think, is 88. Ruzicka 63 or something like that. Still in the power play. They missed the net again. Monahan's on the penalty kill. Hey, Monahan's doing a great job on the penalty kill. Look at him. Monahan wants it tonight, eh? I would bet you that he probably put $1 or $2 on the table to get this win tonight versus his former team. If only some of his teammates will play with the same intensity. They don't have the intensity that he has. They don't have the intensity he has. Can you give a shout out to my cousin Emilio Ferreira from the Sick Podcast? The guy works for us, and I got to give him a shout out anyway. I'll give him a shout out. Emilio Ferreira, hello. Even though I see you all the time. I'm behind 15 seconds from Phil Grenier. Okay. Monahan sounds like a good bet, says Wayne. He is. Tony, when you mentioned yesterday that if we tuned into the Sick Podcast together, we would watch the game together. So far, you're giving us play-by-play with the camera solely on you. Show the game, man. Show the game. I'm not really allowed to show the game. That's number one. It's kind of like a gray area. That's number one. Number two, what do you want me to have? 8 cameras and a production team over here? I'm in my basement, man, with one 4K camera. So if the camera is going to be on the TV, it's not going to be on me. And by the way, there's something called copyright infringement. If I do that, I can get sued. I don't feel like getting sued, by the way. I don't feel like getting sued. It's okay. By the way, folks, if you don't know how all the rules to the podcast stuff, it's okay. I don't know them all either. Very odd that he says that, though, right? Like, doesn't he have a TV at home? Like, why would he want me to put my camera on the TV? Like, would he watch the game through my camera on the TV? Oh, Kirby Dach just got rocked, eh? I think it was by Coleman. He got hit pretty hard, but look at him. Picks up the puck. He's going for a skate. Kirby Dach has a nice style when he skates, eh? He's got that long reach. My buddy Danny Mancuso calls me a couple of days ago. He goes, Kirby Dach, he reminds me a little bit about Mario Lemieux. I almost passed out. I go, what do you mean, Danny? Yeah, not a lot, but he has a little bit of him. Yeah, they both played hockey, Danny. Danny's not very strong on the comparison game, by the way. It's the first time in my life I've heard somebody say that Kirby Dach reminds them of Mario Lemieux, and it will likely be the last time ever, too. Lucic, very complimentary of Sean Monahan, eh? Loves the guy. So the guy was in so much pain playing last year with the hip injury. Yeah, Mario Lemieux. Yeah, people are laughing. That's my buddy, Danny Mancuso. He called me 2 days ago. I said, Danny, do you want, can I say this on the air? And then he goes, no, don't. But I said it anyway. And what's Danny going to do? Well, what's he going to do at this point? I want to thank Danny, by the way, for actually coming to my house earlier today and helping assemble a stand that I bought so that I can hook up a TV in my podcast room because I didn't have one. So here I was saying that we're going to watch the game. While the game was going on, I was going to do the podcast, and I didn't have a TV in my podcast room. So I had ordered a stand. It's a real nice stand, actually, on wheels. To bring it from one room to another. Got my TV. I think this is probably a 40-inch or something, 39-inch, 40-inch. I didn't want it too big because that's pretty much the biggest size I can put in this room. Anyway, it's pretty nice. I feel like moving the camera and showing you my setup, but then I'm scared that I'm going to mess up on the whole camera. Let me try it. I know I'm going to regret this, by the way. I know I'm going to regret this. But yeah. Let me put it back now. I don't know if you saw that anyway. I tried. There we go. It's back on me now. Anyone miss Toffoli? I miss him. Everybody misses Toffoli. Toffoli's a good guy, man. Good guy and a good hockey player. Came here at great value, too, for the Canadiens. 4-year deal as a UFA at 4.25. When Bergevin called him, told him, actually, listen, this is the most I can give you because I don't have any cap room. I'm going to try some way, somehow, to shave a salary here and there to try and save money on the cap so I can give you more. And at one point, he just wanted to get it done. He goes, don't worry about it, man. Just let's get it done. And he goes, but, I know you're worth at least $1 million more. He goes, yeah, don't worry about it. Let's just get it done. It's pretty cool. Tony, whose autograph do you have on the red share of the Montreal Forum? It's Guy Lafleur's. It says Guy Lafleur, number 10. Flower in quotes. Hall of Fame, 1988. 5 cups. There you go. Take a look at it. That's it. It's the flower. I still haven't accepted his death, by the way. I'm not kidding you. Like, I watch Guy Lafleur videos on YouTube and documentaries and highlights and goals every day. Every day. There's one I highly suggest you watch on YouTube. I think it's called I think it's Guy Lafleur, La Puissance, I believe it is. But it was like recorded probably 21 years ago or something like that. He was celebrating his 50th birthday, and they sold out. Is it Place des Arts or something? Anyway, there's a place that they sold out about 2,000 tickets. I think it was Place des Arts. And they had a lot of his former teammates there and stuff like that. A lot of Quebec musicians, artists. And it was pretty cool. I watched that all the time, too. There's another one where he's going to the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. And they go by train. And Régent Tremblay goes with him. And Tremblay's the one doing the interview. And at one point, the train stops. And Yvon Lambert, Guy Lapointe, and Régent Houle hop on the train. And they have a discussion, all 4 of those players with Guy Lafleur. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. It's really cool. I like that one a lot, too. That's a really good one. Get back to the hockey game. Canadiens are up 1-0. Shots are 21-13 for Calgary. Just over 3 minutes to go in period number 2. That's a bad play by Kirby Dach. He's got to get that puck out, man. That's a bad play. Now his stick goes to the ground. Instead of going to pick it up or go to the banner, he's looking over at the referee. What do you think? Just play. Just play. It's like a player from France at the World Cup. When was it? Yesterday or the day before or whatever? He got tripped up, and instead of playing and continuing, he turns around, looks at the referee, puts his hands in the air. The ball goes the other way, and he gets scored on. I think it was the France game. But there's nothing happening in this hockey game, though. Here's the Foley. No, bad angle. The Flames are, even though they got more shots than the Canadiens, they're very predictable in their attacks. Like, very predictable. It's bland hockey. I'm telling you right now that if Daryl Sutter is going to be there for a while, him and Huberdeau, like, this is a marriage that's not going to end well. When you go to a wedding and you look over at your wife, or you look over at your girlfriend, or you look over at your buddy and you say, we're here tonight, but these two, what do you think? Over or under a year? And, when you have one of those feelings, one of those discussions, well, I just have a feeling that Huberdeau and Daryl Sutter is not going to go very well. I have that feeling with some marriages every now and then, to the point where I've been talking to my wife that I said, I think we should start post-dating some checks. When we're not sure if they're going to make it, let's post-date the check 1 year. If they make it, they can cash it in. If they don't make it, it doesn't get cashed in. It's post-dated 1 year. It's not a bad idea. Eh? I just gave a lot of you a real good idea tonight. Yeah. It's not going to last long. It's not going to last long. Put Bleu Nuit on instead. No, I can't. I can't put it on instead because, that was a long time ago. I'd have to go back and look for the VHS tapes. Vitya Slavkovsky's off to the races. Look at this. He hit the post. Damn it. I would have loved for that kid to get a second goal, even though I want the rebuild. I would have loved that kid. Can you imagine? Playing with Monahan and Anderson. Scores 2 goals in the first game that they're together. He hit the post. That was a good play. Took off down the left wing, left-handed shot. Goes far corner, right off the post. It's too bad. Offside. They're going to show the replay now. That was a defensive zone faceoff. They fanned on it. He's off to the races, right off the post. He's got a good wrist shot, though, the kid, eh? The kid has a good wrist shot. Keep Slavkovsky with this line for the road trip. Ryan Katz, who's had 4 comments tonight. I think 3 of them are the same. I want to see Slavkovsky play on this line the whole season. Keep him on this line for the road trip. Keep him on this line for the game. Keep him on this line for the week. Keep him on this line for the month. Ryan, change up the comments, please. Please. 1 minute, 15 seconds left in period number 2. At which point, by the way, I'm going to get to a lot of your questions, and I'm even going to get to your calls. Time flies when we're having fun, eh? We're already like 39 minutes into the show. Look at that Carey Price mask right behind the bench. That's a huge mask. The arena is red tonight, eh? Look at all those red Calgary Flames jerseys. Canadiens with pressure in the offensive zone here. Never mind the pressure. It's out of the zone now. 1 minute left in period number 2. This is where coaches tell you to be very careful in the way you play. Don't take chances. Don't give up any goals. You don't want to give up a goal with 30 seconds left in any period. They say you're not to give up a goal in the first minute of every period and the last minute of every period. That's when you want to avoid it. I have another rule. If you're a hockey team, don't give up a goal ever. There it is. There it is. There it is. Lindholm. They were juggling. What happened here? Rosiska throws it into the zone. Matheson got knocked off the puck. He's able to get up. Loose puck. Matheson looks over at the referee. Why didn't you call a penalty? Did he take out his skate under him? Did he take out his skate under him, or did he just out-muscle him? Huberdeau pass. Lindholm goal. Bang, bang play. No chance for Jake Allen. I said I was going to jinx the shutout. Matheson, not overly physical on that play, but I have to see if they took the skates out from under him. Not sure. You don't want to give up a goal, I said, in the first minute of any period or the last minute of any period. They end up giving a goal with less than 30 seconds to go in the period. Look at Dandanov, but he brings nothing, though. But he just gave the puck to the other team. Like, he brings nothing. Nothing he brings. Nothing. Okay, why don't we do this? Bear with me now, because my mask. Yeah, I wish I had a mask sometimes. My camera is on an angle. Okay, camera's on an angle. Tony, what are you doing for the 10:30 game on Monday? Same thing. The show starts at 10 p.m. I'm going at 10 p.m. all season. That's it. I've decided. I'll go at 10 p.m. The game starts at 10:30. The puck will drop at around 10:37. It'll already be 37 minutes I'm on. And take my camera now, and I'm going to put it straight in front of me because I won't have to put it on an angle anymore because we're not going back to the game. Hold on a second. All right. Okay. You see? There you have it. It's straight now. All right. All right. So why don't we do this? Agnello and Sammy back at master control. By the way, who do you think is going to score next for the Habs? The game is tied 1-1 after 2. Let us know. Comment on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. Let me know who scores the next goal for the Montreal Canadiens. And if you don't think the Montreal Canadiens are going to score the next goal, well, then I guess just let me know who you think is going to score the next goal, period. Why don't we get to your calls? Let's do that.
You called. Presented by Playground.
Presented by Playground. Over 600 machines, poker tournaments, Playground casino games, daily promotions, and unmatched customer service. Why go anywhere else? Located just over the Mercier Bridge, only minutes from downtown Montreal. It is the Sick Podcast, brought to you in part by 8.6 Beer, brought to you in part by Lacage, and brought to you in part by Energy Transportation Group. We'll get to your questions. You can send them in on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and we'll also get to your calls. The game is tied 1-1 after 2 periods of play. It is Slavkovsky for the Canadiens, Lindholm for Calgary. Wayne Thompson says, Tony sounds crazy, but keep Monahan, sign Dubois. You got Suzuki, Dubois, Monahan down the middle. Well, you can only sign Dubois in a couple of years. And that is, of course, if the Winnipeg Jets don't trade him. So I don't know. I don't see that happening, even though a lot of people do see it happening. 1-888-585-7425 is the number to call. 1-888-585-SICK. Where are we going here exactly? If, by the way, you've wanted to call me in the past after the game, you couldn't get a line, seeing as it's after the second period and the game's not over yet, I think there's a good chance you can get your line. What's the theory on Armia? This coming from Andre Neer. My theory on Armia, him and Lekanen and Jesperi Kotkaniemi were absolutely inseparable. They were always together, always used to do stuff together. Him and Kotkaniemi lived in the same complex. They would drive in to the ring together all the time, at practice, to the games, have supper together quite often. And my opinion is, ever since those two players are gone, he's down in the dumps, and it's affecting his play. That's my opinion. Whether it's true or false, but I think there could be something to it. Tony, ask Agnello, where are the snacks? I have the snacks. Trust me, I have the snacks. But the snacks that I have right now, unfortunately, in the house are not overly healthy. And my blood sugar levels were pretty high last week. And I think my blood pressure is pretty high as well, because today, as I was trying to assemble this stand, I was sitting down on the floor. And when I got up, I started to see like stars all over the room type of thing. So I don't think it's a good idea for me to take out the snacks. You know what I mean? I know. I want to make a commitment to try and eat better. And I think I'm off to a really good start, because it's one day that I'm eating well. One day. It's like kind of like a record for me. B. Murphy, okay, folks, if your comment is going to be that we got to keep Slavkovsky on this line, well, I mean, he's got a goal and a post. I think it's safe to say he's having a good one. Sandro Da Vinci says Rapini juice, Tony. Yikes. I don't like Rapini. Chances are I'm not going to like Rapini juice. But if it's going to make me feel better, it's going to make me feel better. What do you want me to tell you? Go for it, Tony, says me. Who would be a good addition to Slav and Monahan instead of Anderson? Well, right now they can't add players. They don't have the cap room. Adriano says, Tony, I was at that charity soccer game with Zidane. You did good. Thank you, Adriano. But I mean, I wanted to do more than good. I had a chance, as a matter of fact, where I was at the top of the box and a defender was chasing me down. And back in the day when I would have been in shape, and my shape was a lot better then than it is now, but it still wasn't good enough. That was back in, I think it was June of 2009. I tried to shoot right away, and I tried to put it over the goalie's head, and he made a save. How was playing with Zizou? It was incredible. Like it was so easy for him. He was sitting next to me in the locker room, and we actually were showering together at the same time. Isn't that something, eh? You know, talking as if nothing's going on while we're showering, but that's part of like playing pickup sports and stuff like that. You know, you shower all the time. Tony, you look great. Thank you. Wow, I look great. Wow. I don't think I look great, but that's nice. Don't give in to those snacks. I won't. You think Napoli is winning the Scudetto? This coming in from Justin Petroni. Absolutely. Good job, Tony, says the SDC. Thank you. Adriano says Zidane is a phenomenon. Yes, he is. Okay. Audio Murphy, we're not going to repeat. Tony, how about a World Cup update? The World Cup update is coming pretty soon. It's not finished yet because we're going to get to some of your calls and we're going to get to some of your questions. Okay. Sammy and Yellow, where are we going exactly? If you want to call in, 1-888-585-7425, 1-888-585-SICK. Tony, when Drouin is back, do you agree he should be line 2? No, I don't. I want to keep Slavkovsky with Anderson and Monahan. I mean, I've been saying that since the beginning of the season. Why would I want to put Drouin on that line? He'd have to be on the third line. I'd rather have Drouin in the lineup than Dadonov, to tell you the truth. Dadonov just brings nothing. At least Drouin, you know what? I think he's pretty good on the power play. I think the power play is better with Jonathan Drouin. More questions, calls. What happened to Pizzetta? He was not all that bad last year. Well, Pizzetta gave what he had to give. He gives you everything he has. But if you're going to end up being a better team, his contributions are going to be less. The Canadiens were the worst team in the National Hockey League last year. That's why he looked better. This year, they're not the worst team in the National Hockey League. They're better than that. That's why he's not looking as good. It's pretty simple, I think, no? Man, I explained that well. It's about time I do something right. Tony, what does Yolonen need to do to get a call-up? Change his name? It would help if he was a local guy. It would have helped him. Just kidding. Arbor was a healthy scratch on Tuesday and comes back and takes another bad penalty tonight. I'm losing faith. This coming from Chris from Sport La Tornade. Chris, don't lose faith. When Jack Guy doesn't play, the Canadiens lose all the time and they give up a lot of goals. Jack Guy is a positive for the Canadiens. He's not a negative. Don't view him as a negative. He's a positive. Does Gallagher get over 10 goals this year? I'm going to say yes. Over 10, yes. But I knew that Gallagher was not going to have a good year. He's certainly not off to a good year. He's got 3 goals so far. I mean, some thought that he was going to score 25 and stuff like that. I said, folks, you're dreaming, man. No, it's because he wasn't healthy last year, and now he told everyone that he's healthy. He could tell you whatever. What do you want him to tell you? He's finished. He's on the back 9, man. He's on the back 9. I turned 50 a week ago. I'm on my back 9 too. My next 25 years are not going to be nowhere close to my last 25. I'd love to tell you they're going to be better, but chances, the reality is they're not. But hopefully I can give you like 10 really good years. Because I'd like to do this for, why not? If I'm in shape, the voice lasts another 10 years. If I don't do it for another 10, it's because we sold the podcast. That would be cool. Can't have a fourth line center with 0 points in Jake Evans. You're right about that one. That's true too. More comments. Folks, if you want to call me when you're doing a watch party, you're not getting the same calls as you do when the game is over. Now's your chance. Tony, do you agree that Petrie should return to the Habs? Hi, Kelly. No, I don't agree. Return for what exactly? It's still Montreal. And his wife still doesn't want to be here. His family didn't want to live here down the stretch. I mean, well, did it change? He's what? He's going to be 35 or 36 years old this month? Canadiens are rebuilding. Why would you want to bring him back for? No. He had his time here. He can stay where he is. What do you think of Huberdeau's game? Is he back? No, he's not back. It was a lot more dynamic. Look, he was playing on a team that played a lot more wide open hockey. A lot more wide open hockey. Tony, what's the plan B if Primo doesn't pan out? Canadiens have a couple of good goalie prospects. On some depth charts, those goalies that they have are ahead of Primo. More comments, more questions. Is Monahan getting traded at the deadline for a first? I believe so. This coming in from Went Hughes, who I believe is like a spinoff of Kent Hughes, and I believe is like not his real name. You would think, right? I mean, who do you know his name Went? W-E-N-T. Hughes. Why can't I pronounce it? Woos. W-U-G-H-E-S. Tony, I hope we can get 4 first-round picks of the draft. So do I. This coming in from Kevin Lefebvre. Who stays in Calgary longer, Huberdeau or Sutter? If Sutter doesn't have success in the playoffs or doesn't make the playoffs, I'll say the answer to that's going to be Huberdeau. Javier says that Lane Hudson is incredible. Yes, he definitely is incredible. Other questions? Real question here. We finally going to have a 40-goal scorer this year. A 40-goal scorer. If Caulfield gets 40, he'll get 40. He won't get more than that. But next year, yes. Next year, he'll score 40. Others coming in? Really want Suzuki to start heating back up. Only seen one Habs player score more than 80 points in my life. This coming from Anthony in Montreal. He must be talking about Alex Kovalev when he got 35 goals, 49 assists, 84 points. At least that's what I think his stats were, if memory serves me well. What are we doing now? Are we going for gold or what? Let's go for gold. Or do we have a call? What do we have, a call? Giovanni in Montreal.
Hey, Tony, how are you?
Very good. You?
Good. Giovanni Maiolo.
Giovanni Maiolo. Yes, sir. Maiolo, Montreal.
Yeah.
Huh. Another free.
I open my TV and you're the first person that pops up.
Who's better than you? Another free plug to Maiolo, Montreal. Another free plug.
Another free plug. Thank you, buddy.
Don't worry about it. You can always pay me back with eggplant fritters during the holidays.
Anytime. I told you already. Anytime for you.
Who's better than you? Nobody. What do you tell me, Giovanni? By the way, Giovanni, you're a great call. Eh? You should call more often. I hope you know that.
Oh, once in a while. It's
yeah.
You know? But you know what? When I open the TV, you're the first person that pops up. So, I said, what the heck?
No, but what do you mean when you open the TV? Like you have me on what? On your YouTube or what?
And it's you. Like, it was a calling, I think.
Yeah. Okay, tell me. So you said this is a message from God. I have to give Tony a call.
That's it. It was, it's been a while. I haven't seen you. I haven't talked to you. But anyway.
Yeah. What do you tell me?
But listen, I want to know. I just saw a little bit of the game, and I want to know, Gallagher's hurt or?
Yes, Gallagher's hurt. Yeah.
He's hurt. Okay. And what do you think of the 7 defensemen?
By the way, I've been told that eggplant fritters are probably not the best idea for the diet, eh?
Don't worry, I make them gluten-free and everything. Don't worry for you.
You make them gluten-free for real or what?
Yeah, don't worry. I make it up for you, man.
How do you make those gluten-free? Tell me, but how do you make them gluten-free?
Well, you got to get gluten-free bread. Make the breadcrumb and you do it.
Okay. Lower body injury for Brendan Gallagher, by the way.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't part of the morning skate this morning and being evaluated for a lower body injury.
Okay.
Mike Hoffman, as you know, was placed on injured reserve, and Ren Pitlick was called up from Laval, but his plane arrived less than 2 hours before game time. By the time he got to the arena, they decided to go with Chris Weidman, and they're using Weidman, a little bit on the wing, a little bit here and a little bit there, but he's not playing all that much.
Who they call up from Laval?
They called up Ren Pitlick.
Oh, Pitlick. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to know, what do you think of this? Also, that's why they're playing 7 defensemen.
That's exactly it. Yeah, because they chose not to go with him because he arrived at the arena just before the game.
Yeah. All right, man. I just wanted to say hi. Keep up the good work, and listen, I haven't seen any of the game. I watched maybe 5 minutes of it. So.
Oh yeah.
But
thanks,
keep up the good work, okay, buddy?
Thanks, Giovanni. I appreciate it. You too, my buddy. You too. All right, Giovanni Maiolo. I love this guy. Where are we going next? Let's take one more call after this. Who are we going to? Peter in Montreal.
Laval.
Peter, how are you?
Good, Tony. Tabarnouche, man. The airways.
Peter, managgia miseria, managgia Sandraco. What's going on?
What the heck? Dude, the airwaves are only alive when you're on.
Yeah, you notice that, eh?
There's nothing going on unless you're on.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Thank you have no idea how many people listen to you and tune in and talk about you. You're phenomenal, brother. Really.
Thank you. I really listen. I love what I do, and I hope it shows. Thank you. Go ahead, Peter.
It shows, and the laughter and everything, like every day, man, at the shop. It's always, it's like, for sure, it's not on the morning, but you know what? We can catch it any time, and we always do.
You can catch it. You can catch it anytime on the podcast. You're right. And
the YouTube thing, we can watch it anytime, kind of thing. So,
you know what? I love this whole YouTube thing, man. I go live Monday to Thursday. We go live Monday to Friday here on the Sick Podcast. I'm on Monday to Thursday starting at 10 o'clock. You can watch it live at 10 p.m. You want to watch it at midnight, you watch it at midnight. You want to watch it at 8 a.m., you watch it at 8 a.m. You want to watch it at noon, you watch it at noon. You go back, you watch it, this, that. You can watch it on your tablet, on your phone, on your TV, on whatever. I love it.
The guys you're collaborating with also, it looks now you were handcuffed over there, brother.
Well,
guys you're collaborating with, and the come on, it's awesome. Larac and you, phenomenal. Like just great.
Listen,
great.
Here's the deal. Without getting into particulars, all right? Okay, but mind you, getting into particulars, I don't care. Like, I'm an open book. I'll tell you whatever you need to know. Okay.
Shoot.
I love Agnello and Sammy. All right. And, they pretty much give me carte blanche with this podcast. I pretty much can do whatever I want to do with it. Our collaborators, they're all taken care of. What do I mean by that? They're compensated for their time. If you want a commitment from your collaborators, and say, you know what, you're going to join me every Monday, you're going to join me every Tuesday, you're going to join me every Wednesday, you're going to join me every Thursday. You know what? You can't push your luck. Everyone's got families to feed, and everyone's a professional. And if you're going to want a collaboration, a regular collaboration, you got to pay everyone for their time. And the reason why I have access to more collaborators now than I did in the last 20 years is because Agnello and Sammy are giving me a budget for my collaborators. You want to know what my budget was for the 20 years before that?
Sammy didn't get to where he is by being,
Yeah. You want to know? You want to know what the budget was before that? Before I did the podcast?
Yeah, whatever you brought to the table.
No. You want to know what was given to me for the collaborators? When I went and said, "Hey, what do we have for the collaborators here? We have a."
T, seriously, what were they giving you? Hello?
Yeah. You can't see me or what? There was no budget for the collaborators, bro. Not on my show.
Come on, bro.
Bro, hey, do you think I'm lying to you? On my show, there was no budget for the collaborators.
All the guys that you had on every week, right?
Yeah.
Flynn and all that stuff. Nothing. Nada.
Yeah. Flynn was paid. I paid him out of pocket.
Okay, so what are you? Because you brought.
Well, I took one of my. I took one. Now we're getting into it. Now we're getting into like the real. Flynn was taken care of, and it was one of my sponsors that basically, went to him. Nobody else, bro. Nobody else, bro.
Look, I've heard so much, and I'm sure there's so much left to tell. Maybe one day you'll write a book.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't even know why I got into this. Like, I don't want to look back. I want to look forward.
No,
look, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, Peter, and I want this to come across as humbly as possible. I'm flying right now. Like I'm in a very, very good place. I love my personal life. I love my professional life. I do my 13 minutes of radio. I do my 13 minutes of television. I got all the exposure in the world. I do this podcast on weeknights starting at 10 o'clock. Agnello and Sammy give me carte blanche. They treat me great. They treat the collaborators great. Everyone likes it. We got a sick army here that tunes in. It's all on video. It's on YouTube Live, Facebook, Twitter, this, that. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'm right now, I'm living the dream. I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, remember when you started the post game, nothing, and then they put you in that shitty slot. Sorry, 10 o'clock, and you took it. Come on, man. It's talent. It's not nothing. You worked your butt off, and you deserve to be where you are.
Well, look, from a personal point of view, from a personal life point of view, a 10 a.m. slot on the radio, it's the best slot you can have. Like, because at 1 o'clock it was finished. At 1:30 I was home. It's a beautiful slot from a personal life point of view. To end up getting ratings, well, you have the least amount of cars on the road than any other slot that there is at the radio station. So you have a least chance of getting the best ratings. So the fact that I was able to get the best ratings more than once on several occasions over the last year or two, I'm pretty happy about that, man, because it's kind of like not having a budget for guests and having that slot and being able to accomplish what I accomplished with the ratings. Put it this way, I'm very, very proud of that. Very, very proud of that. I basically accomplished.
That's what we're celebrating, where you are.
The unthinkable. Yes. You watching this third period or what? Because the Canadiens Jordan Harris just took a penalty for delay of game. And the Calgary Flames are on the power play.
Nice.
We're now 2 minutes into period number 3. You and I are talking about radio, collaborators, how much they were paid, what they weren't paid.
You're going into.
There are shows that had a budget for guests, by the way. Mine didn't.
Yeah, I know. Forget.
Yeah.
But you were much anyway. So
but if mine was given the budget for guests, then it was going to finish number 1 in the ratings for sure. We wouldn't want that, would we?
I want to go into the woke crap and all the other stuff there.
No, I don't want to go into anything. No, listen. I loved my time where I was. I loved what I did. I loved my listeners. I loved doing it. When I woke up in the morning and I would go to work, I would whistle. So happy to go to work. You know what I mean? Very, very blessed. Very blessed. Had a good time there. Did what I had to do. I think I made my mark.
Made your mark. Malone, you found the dogs. I should go on. Must listen.
Calling the gas station because the Canadiens were out of gas.
Forget about it.
Calling the Pittsburgh Zoo to find out how bad penguins are. calling Boston to because there was a zoo on there was a giraffe on the loose out of the zoo, and his name was Zdeno. No. Listen, I had a good time. I I loved what I did. Let's move on. No more looking back. Listen, I appreciate all your support. I loved what I did. I loved where I worked. I loved everything. It was time to move on to the podcast world. You know what I mean? This podcast world is it's a very interesting world, you know?
Yeah, bro.
It's a very interesting world. Peter, we're going to move on. We're going to talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Peter in Montreal. Peter, you sound like a good guy. So the shots are 30-14 for Calgary. 3.5 minutes into period number 3. The Flames are on the power play. There's 50 seconds left. Oh, did Toffoli just ring that one off the bar or what? I bet you Toffoli end up scoring the game-winning goal. You know what? It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. If it's going to happen to somebody, I hope it happens to him. Look at this. Monahan on the penalty kill with Suzuki, Edmondson, David Savard. David Savard's going to end up blocking. Did you see Suzuki with his stick on the ice, the way he blocked it? He shut off that passing lane? Fantastic. Look at this. David Savard gets it out. Oh, my God. He almost found Suzuki. They would have had a 2-on-1. Damn. Tony, you were the best the day the Habs beat Vegas. I'll never forget that morning at 10 a.m. Neither will I. It was a highlight. Wasn't going into the station at that point because, was in the heart of COVID, in the heart of the pandemic. And I was going into my wife's dance studio because I had peace and quiet there, and I was doing the show from there. And I brought in the foghorns, and then all of a sudden, a couple of people came to visit me and stuff like that. We had a big party. That was a great time, man. That was a great time. I was happy to be a part of that, by the way. The only regret that I have is that, in my 20 years where I was, that the Habs weren't able to win the cup, I would have loved to have been able to been a part of a cup run, Just it wasn't meant to be. What do you want to do? Anyway, it is what it is. Your show the morning after was amazing. Yeah, thank you. I have some of that on Instagram, I think. I think you can go and watch some of the highlights on Instagram. It was a lot of fun. Once again, folks, I appreciate everything and stuff like that, but you know what? I loved every minute of it. But time to turn the page. In life, you got to know when to move on, and you take a decision for what you think is best for you and your family, and you stick to your convictions, you go with it, and you move on, and you do your best, and that's it. I take another call. Andrew from Atlanta. Oh, there's a redirect. Oh, big save by Jake Allen. 33-14 are the shots now. Andrew.
Hi.
Yeah.
Tony?
Yeah.
Hi. I'm a fan of your show. I've been watching it almost every night. I like the transparency that you have on your broadcast.
Thank you. Sometimes a little bit too much, though. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm from an Italian background as well, so I like shows that are more like that aren't as typical broadcasts.
Listen, I like to go on the air and have fun, and I like to be an open book and tell people what's going on and stuff like that and whatever. And I love what I do, man. Right. I love what I did before. I love what I do now. I try and have fun on the air, try and be a little bit different, because if I'm going to be the same like everyone else, well, then I'm not going to draw. So have my personality come out a little bit, talk Habs, talk hockey, talk whatever's going on. Jake Allen lost his mask, by the way. I think they're going to whistle this down pretty soon. I would hope so, but they're in the offensive zone right now. Did they see that he doesn't have his mask or what? Yeah, now they saw he doesn't have his mask. The referee whistled. You don't want to take a puck off the face, do you?
No, not anymore.
What's on your mind, my man? What's on your mind?
So I wanted to ask you, with Montreal going through their rebuild right now, how long do you think, if you had to take a guess, on them being a Stanley Cup contender?
I've said before that I believe the duo of Gordon and Hughes will win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I believe that I'll say 4 years from now, the Canadiens will probably make it to the third round of the playoffs. Is that a legitimate Stanley Cup contender? I tell you, they're making it to the third round. I would think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They've done that a couple times since '93, outside of just like a final run a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they did. They did. But once again, I don't know how long it's going to take to win a Stanley Cup, but I have full confidence in the double-headed monster that is Gordon and Hughes. I really do.
Yeah.
I think they complete each other really, really well. Oh, look at this. Josh Anderson wants to go with Markstrom. And who is that? Mangiapane that comes in and says, no, you can't do that to my goalie. The last time I saw somebody do this, got real close to a goalie like that, was Shane Corson. And the goalie was Mason with the Vancouver Canucks. It was a game that played in Vancouver. I think Corson got a high stick. He got clipped over his eyebrow. See, Josh Anderson got whacked by Markstrom. Look at that. He gave him the whack. Look at that. He gave him a whack.
Oh,
That's why Markstrom, he gave him a whack in the right hand. That's why he wanted to get to Markstrom. But you see, Josh Anderson, nice guy. Shane Corson would have knocked him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Canadiens might be on the power play. Are they on the power play or what? Or are they both getting a penalty? No, the Canadiens are on the power play. Okay, that's good at least.
Yeah.
What's on your mind, my man?
Yeah. No, my other question that I had was, so with their run, Montembeault's been playing well this season as well. Do you think like he would be good to win a Stanley Cup with, or you think like Primo, or because I don't know with Allen, he's been up and down so far this season. I don't know if he would be even around in a few years from now.
Allen in a few years from now, I think it's hard to say, but I don't think he will be. But you know what? A lot of people, with his salary, a lot of people think that maybe Jake Allen will be the backup in a couple of years to whoever's going to end up being the number one goalie for the Canadiens. Different ways to look at it. But if Allen plays great between now and the deadline, and he's able to turn it around, because let's face it, up until now, he hasn't played great. He's having a great game tonight. Tonight's the best game he's had all season, I think. This one in the game that he played in Detroit, the one in Detroit, he was unbelievable too. Those have been his two best games of the season. If he could turn it around, get his value up, if they can end up getting something for him that's something good, I think they would trade him. But if they won't get something good for him, then I think they won't. Not this year anyway.
Right, because he has 2 more years left. Because he signed that extension, right?
My man did it. There we go. This guy here. There we go. Cole on the power play. One-timer. Setting up where he does all the time. I don't even know why I'm happy, because I'm talking about the rebuild, and it's here we go. We're winning games here. We're winning games. Why are we winning this game tonight? But they're winning it. Monahan finds Suzuki, looks at the point, cross-ice pass, Cole Caulfield, between the dots, right-handed shot, left side, one-timer, set play, my friend. That's a set play. Yeah. Suzuki looking back at the point and feeding Caulfield like that, that's a set play. That's a set play.
If they keep winning like this and then making the playoffs, like you think that's
they're not going to make the playoffs. They won't make the playoffs.
Do you think they'll tank at some point?
They're not going to make the playoffs. I thought I was going to beat my buddy Jean-Charles Lajoie in our correct picks this week. I had a 3-2 lead over him going into the game, but he's got the Canadiens plus 1.5. I like his chances. We're going to end this week on a tie. But, ending the week on a tie is better than actually losing the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at that. But at this point, what do I do here? I stay on and I watch. Like I usually go on for an hour, right? So I've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. But now, like, there's 12.5 minutes left in the game. Like, do I stay on for the rest of the game? No, I don't think I can do that, because 12.5 minutes in hockey could actually last about 25 minutes. Okay, one more call. Thanks for calling, Andrew. I appreciate it. Glenn in Nova Scotia. Glenn, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, what's going on?
Not too much, Tony. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing extremely well, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. I just want to say your podcast is the best. I watch it religiously, and you're
Well,
awesome.
thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, well, I've been a Habs fan since I probably come out of the womb, so you talk my language, buddy.
I hear you. It's a pretty big nation, man.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I wanted to tell you a story.
Tell me.
A few years ago, when I was approximately probably 17, 18 years old, I lived in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Mm-hmm.
We went to this place with my cousin. He was playing darts at this place called the French Club. And I walked in. It was the first time I've ever met Yvon Lambert. I walked into the little bar with him, and they thought, of course, I was 19, so I'd never got ID or whatever have you. But here was this man sitting at the table playing cards. So talking French, and I speak French. I'm a marchand. So anyway, I get up to him, and my cousin said to me, he said, "You know that guy?" I said, "I know of him. I don't know him. I watch him play hockey all my life, like all since I remember a little boy." So I walked up to him, not knowing anything, and he was the most kind, most gentlest person I've ever spoke to in my life. Showed me his ring, and we talked in French. We must have talked for an hour.
Yeah.
He was like one of my idols. Like I'm telling you, he's amazing. He was an amazing man. He's and
Well,
I seen him on TV a few times there, especially during the passing of Guy Lafleur and stuff.
Yeah.
And it brought back all these memories of when I
well,
met
I have to tell you, I mean, I love today's athletes, but the old timers, they're really special, like you see them even today, they're so giving with their time and
well,
they don't make them like they used to,
No, and that's the thing. Like these guys could play hockey and go out and have a few beer and smoke cigarettes, and you know what I mean? They loved what they did. They loved what they did, and they were rough and they were tough, and they'd cut each other and fight, and then they'd go out and have a drink and be friends again. That's how I was brought up. I played junior, and I played actually my minor hockey years with Mike McPhee.
Really, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Mike McPhee played on a line with Skrulin and Lemieux. It was one of it was a real good checking line the Canadians had.
Yeah.
Came up big, man. They scored that game-winning goal versus the Hartford Whalers, 1986. Second round, Game 7 at the Old Forum in Montreal, and McPhee behind the net, Claude Lemieux behind the net, and turns around and spins, and boom, right under the bar. Jake Allen just made a huge stop. A huge stop, yeah. With 11 minutes to go in period number 3, the Canadians up by 2-1. In close, he makes a really, really big stop. Stack the pads.
Awesome.
Stack the pads. You watching the game or what? You watching the game?
I watched the first 2 periods. I had to come to pick up my wife at work. She works till 1 a.m. So
you're a good man for doing that. So anyway, have a great night, and my regards to your wife, okay?
You too, Tony, and keep up the good work. We really love you down here in Nova Scotia.
And I love you too. I love everyone who listens and everyone who watches. I really appreciate the support. When you do what I do, if you don't have the support of the people, you got nothing. I mean, and when you have the support of the people, you have everything. That's all you can ask for, And we got a real good sick army right now. We have a real good community. It's our sick army right now, and it's pretty cool. You're there all the time and watching in big numbers. I love it. Why don't we go for gold, huh?
Go for gold. A daily World Cup report.
Alfonso Davies keeps it himself. Goal!
Presented by Bijouterie Bossy.
Alfonso Davies.
All right. Bijouterie Bossy, of course, is Bassi has provided professional service fine jewelry for over 30 years. Jenny Dioris is my friend. You can visit the store at 9640. I'll probably go visit on Saturday afternoon. I told Daniela we need to drop by on Saturday and in Boulevard St. Michel, that is. You can call them at 514-387-9528. What better Christmas gift than gold during the holiday season? Gold makes everyone happy. Jewelry makes everyone happy. Diamonds makes everyone happy. and they have some really awesome watches as well. All right, so at the World Cup 2022 in Qatar, it all got started this morning. The game that caught our attention, of course, was our Canadiens men's national team that got off to a real bad start. I mean, there's a pass back from, I believe it was, I'm trying to think right now, but I think it was Miller. But anyway, Borjan and just tries to play with it instead of kicking it out. And unfortunately, it goes too far for him. He's out of his net, and it goes right on the foot of Hakim Ziyech, and he just chips it over him into an empty net. And 4 minutes in, Morocco goes up by a score of 1-0. And then, there's a great long ball by Morocco in between two defenders, in between Miller and Victoria, if memory serves me well. And there's a rocket of a shot that beats Borjan short side. I think he should have got to that one. And Adekube crosses a ball that goes off of a Morocco player. It's an own goal at the 40-minute mark to narrow the lead, but that's the way it ended. So Canada loses 1-0 to Belgium. They lose 4-1 to Croatia, and they lose 2-1 to Morocco. They scored a goal off a header. They had an own goal, and they conceded 7. No points to show for it. And the other game that started at 10 a.m., it was Croatia and Belgium tying at 0. So what it means for Group F is that Morocco and Croatia go through, Canada and Belgium go home. Of course, as you know, Canada, though, was eliminated after their second game. In the two games in the afternoon, this was absolutely unbelievable. Japan surprising Spain the way they surprised Germany. They had the ball, I think 17 or 18% of the game only, but they're able to score 2 goals, one of which, by the way, by the slimmest of margins. Some camera angles show the ball going out. Some of them in slow-mo actually show a little piece of the ball on a little piece of the line. That means it's in, so the goal counts. And if that goal doesn't count, Germany would have advanced with Spain. But because the goal counts and Japan wins, Japan advances with Spain. And Germany, regardless of their 4-2 win over Costa Rica, Germany and Costa Rica are going home. Germany going home. Can you believe that? Let's take a look at what we have on tap tomorrow. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., Ghana versus Uruguay, Korea Republic versus Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's Serbia versus Switzerland and Cameroon versus Brazil. Once again, special thanks to La Cage. Special thanks to 8.6 Beer, and special thanks to Energy Transportation Group. Less than 9 minutes to go in period number 3. The Canadiens are being outshot 36-18 by the Calgary Flames. But where it counts on the score sheet, the Canadiens got 2 goals from youngsters Cole Caulfield and Juraj Slafkowski, and right now they lead by a score of 2-1. Are they going to win this game? I don't know. We'll find out probably in the next half an hour or so, but I do know this. Matt O'Hayan will be back, same time, same place, and he'll bring you the Sick Podcast tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, once again, live on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. To my Sick Army, who joined me for my first ever watch party, and hopefully the first of several. It looks like there's going to be another one on Monday, and it looks like there's going to be another one on Tuesday. So I'm going to do a couple of these. I had fun. It was different. It's always fun. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Double shift, your best players. I'm Marinaro.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. 8.6. Intense by nature. And La Cage. If the last time you went to La Cage was when the Habs won the cup, it's time you went back to La Cage. The menu will surprise you.